Today we are going to go over the leaked screenshots of Resident Evil Requiem. The first ones we will go over will involve Grace. The first one depicts her maybe waking up in a cold sweat. Another one shows her in a hallway, her only use of light being a lighter. The next two corresponds to a photo we will leave for last. A view of the hallway from the reveal trailer, only this time Grace is standing in an elevator, seemingly just arriving to this floor. Another shows a shot of her investigating the broken ceiling parts that we know that the creature will eventually come out of. Key art has now been released of Grace, showing off her new outfit. Now let's talk about the environment. We have an overhead view of the hospital barricaded room. The double doors at the end are now open. Is the woman from the trailer in there? Maybe it's a save room. The walls shine bright white as a chair sits in the middle. A special detailed door sits behind it. The key inserted has an angel depiction. Any significance? A fairy tale? Shadow Ghost by Harriet Jones, art by Matilda Harris. The book cover shows a long bony hand reaching out from behind the door. Is this the new creature? It strikes a big resemblance to the Village of Shadows tale from Resident Evil 8. A tale that came true. Is this happening here? Now for the highlight, the new enemy. One photo shows her head and elongated fingers through a blue lit window. Is she opening it since it looks cracked open? Then an in-motion shot, making Grace seem so insignificant in size. She looms over her, mouth wide open. Her eyes bulge from her face, puffed out. Is this a mandatory cutscene?
Also, new details have surfaced about the way RE9 will be played with some gameplay mechanics, such as having interactive cutscenes, which is something new for the series. The first thing I think of is Until Dawn with its interactive cutscenes. Also, the game is going to have options of first person and third person, which can be changed at any point. It's stated that gameplay will be tweaked and fit whichever gameplay perspective you decide to choose. It'll be more convenient compared to RE Villages, where when the game first dropped, it was set in first person. But then when the option for third was available, you could only pick one of the two and not be able to switch back unless you start a new game. This will be cool to jump back and forth throughout the campaign of RE9 whenever we feel like it. The first person will feel fluent like RE7 and RE8. Same goes for third person, with it being stated to feel fluent like Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 4 Remake. Some people were able to watch about 30 minutes of gameplay, and from what it seems like is that Capcom stated that it'll be more interactive. It makes me think that we'll be able to use our environment more and even try to flick light switches or even grab items that have no significance to make it feel more engaging. Which is going to be awesome to see a new mechanic be implemented more and more as the series progresses. Resident Evil is no stranger to trying new and inventive things. I mean, look at all the games we've had in the past nearly 30 years. There was also a synopsis released for Resident Evil Requiem which states the following. Everything is set in motion when a body, the victim of an unidentifiable disease, is discovered in an abandoned hotel. FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft is assigned to the case, but the crime scene is at the very same hotel where her mother died 8 years ago. Grace prepares to finally face the past and makes her way to the scene. But this one case leads to uncovering the hidden truth behind the outbreak in Raccoon City, the biological disaster that shook the world. Will this be the Requiem that finally lays the memories of that abhorrent disaster to rest? That was a crazy synopsis, but what truly stands out is that it says this case leads to uncovering the truth behind the outbreak that happened in Raccoon City. What else could be lurking in the shadows to finally be brought to light? Only time will tell until the release of RE9. This game is also stated to be a bold shift of the Resident Evil franchise and the most ambitious game to date. That can be taken in so many ways in terms of insane story elements and new inventive gameplay mechanics as well. Our hype is through the roof, and this is the most hyped we've ever been for a video game. Expect a lot of Resident Evil 9 content in the future with our own theories and updates when more is revealed up until the release of Resident Evil Requiem.